Okay, we're all ready.
All right, then let's get this party started. Map 1 going to be on Detox. No map intro for this very awesome map. Reminding everybody, we've seen this one in the Ting Open several times. By the way, I talked with Mana about what would be best, and I think for the Ting Finals, because I think this is what we were defaulting to anyways, going to do that best of 9 with no new maps. We'll just have the recycle feature.
Whoa.
So
That was a super quick guess.
that was a super quick guess, and I'm curious as to what that's for. Spawning in the top right, it's Addict's Pouchou. Don't know who this guy is, but we'll see what that's up. What's up with that guess?
In the bottom left, as the orange Protoss, he is TAiLS. That's the Korean TAiLS.
Pouchou, it's worth noting, did 2-0 TEFL just prior to this, so he's at least got some skill to him. Again, this is the Monday G2A Cup. We kind of threw this last second with some of our G2A money so that we could replace the finals that got moved, because this was originally going to be the day for the Ting Open. I'm actually kind of glad that they got moved. It gives us a little bit more relaxation time before it's all said and done. But yeah, if you guys want to make sure to support more cups like this, consider going to G2A.com and using our promo code BASE when buying games.
So TAiLS is going to be able to see this, and good thing. Now, what's interesting is that Detox is probably something that Pouchou has not played on often, although I do remember seeing the name in brackets before, so maybe once or twice when he just never got to cast. But he scouted so early that TAiLS is actually able to put on a Forge first, which is something we do not see very often anymore.
Ever.
Yeah, and the rush on this map is actually not very, very short. It is surprisingly long, considering when you look at the mini-map, it doesn't look like a big map, but there's some twists and turns in there. So and it's only one entrance. There's no clever tricks here unless he goes for an overload drop.
So it's worth noting, this wasn't the cleanest. Like, the gas count does pick up once again. It wasn't just like 100 and stop. I was curious to see if that was on purpose or not. And it looks like he does continue. But this does get him link speed as fast as possible. He gets links across the map ASAP. Cannon's going to be absolutely necessary. The one that he's getting is great. But, actually, the Overlords aren't in position. They couldn't even... They're going to make a Baneling bust instead. Interesting. Pouchou, man. This style of all-in is dangerous, but it's something that can work.
It's fun. I'll give them that much too. It's PvZ in general is actually much more interesting than it was in the last expansion, but this makes it even more interesting.
Actually, if Pouchou doesn't recognize, like if TAiLS sees one Baneling, if he catches wind of this even slightly, all he's got to do is put a second pylon down over here, and he's stopped the attack. Because the Forge isn't going to be what's going down. He's going to be going for the pylon.
We'll see how it works out.
Okay, well, while this kicks off, Bitstorm's asked a couple times in chat, and he's a sub, so I feel we can answer him. He says, why do you guys have standing desks? I've actually got mine on sit mode right now, but it is because it is so much better on your back. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, better on your back, better on my shoulders, actually, and my neck, so my wrists don't hurt as much. And just in general, it's really bad for you to be sitting at desks.
I just want to stress, like, every dollar I feel for this desk, I was questioning because it was kind of expensive. Absolutely worth it, though. Just the ability to stand now and again has been huge. But he's going to go for the Forge. Smart move, but unfortunately not going to be enough to break it. This is pretty bad. Like, this is, I feel, almost pretty much game over for Pouchou.
Yeah. You need a lot of Banelings to break.
Well, for him, he's going to be like, who the fuck goes Forge anymore? Nobody goes Forge first. Like...
Well, it was, I mean, so even if TAiLS hadn't gone for a Forge first, I wonder how good this would have been. Like, the point was, it was scouted. You know, he would have made double walls no matter what, and he would have gotten a faster Mothership Core, actually, and a faster Sentry if he had gone for a Gateway first. So, either way, I think that was a bad map in general to do that Baneling bust on. But also, it was scouted, so what you gonna do?
Well, we're gonna go to map number 2. So it is loser's pick, so I'll leave it to you to figure out who they want. 5438TC sounds like a fake name, but 7 months in a row. I'll choose to believe you're real. Thank you very much for subbing to the channel.
Yeah, I think you're real now.
Yeah, it's the Pinocchio. Like, you're a real boy.
The next map is going to be Dusk Towers.
Okay, cool.
Loser's pick.
By the way, we've been talking a lot about G2A. I just want to remind everybody, too. Like, I still haven't heard back from Jesse on new numbers, but whenever we do get to the Ting finals, I'm going to be very excited to see how close we are to getting another tournament, because I got to tell you something, well, I'm not quite ready to jump into another set of, 8 qualifiers and 8 groups. I did really like how structured that was. We had gone so long without doing anything super structured. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
Play last map. I don't find the center of a natural. Huh. I don't know how to translate that.
Okay, well, Dusk Towers coming up. Reminding everybody real quick, we'll talk more about this in a moment. We've got another tournament being cast tonight, live here on the channel. But go to Dusk Towers. I'll see you soon. All right, so really quick question. I just realized Team Liquid has an event for a Pro League rebroadcast. Since when are rebroadcasts an event-worthy thing on Team Liquid?
Since they were Pro League, I guess.
That's I've got some problems with that, but of course, Team Liquid is interestingly enough a community of its own. And they can literally do what they like when they like. It's like in their rules. But, anyways, getting into game number 2, we have some things to discuss. But I like that TAiLS is scouting early once again. In the bottom left side of Dusk Towers, it is Pouchou. Pouchou.
In the top right, as the orange Protoss, he is TAiLS. The super early scout once again, so we can get a super early Nexus.
Right. So I think another part about scouting this, though, is like you see that first game. Like, who takes a gas that early? Who goes for baneling busts? I do actually truly believe Pouchou's build in game 1 probably works on a good number of Protoss who are not prepared for that, who are not ready for it. But, you know, TAiLS, through luck / coincidence / whatever, handled that really well. Now, to talk about what's coming up later tonight, because we did have some people coming to the channel asking about it, I just want to clarify fully and entirely. There's a Chairs for Gaming broadcast, Chairs for Gaming Cup going on tonight. So another $100 available thanks to sponsors here on BaseTradeTV. That's not for like another 6 hours, though. And that's going to be with Fear Dragon. So if you guys are wanting to play more StarCraft 2 or watch more StarCraft 2, that's another open sign-up thing that's going to be happening later tonight. And I advertise it now because I hope some of you will come back and keep Fear Dragon company, but also hopefully some of you might be enticed to play, because even if you are not a top-tier Grandmaster player, again, we always try and make as many cups as we can for BaseTradeTV and open things, something available that anybody can play in any league, just because we know there's like that fun aspect of it.
Yeah. Be very fun, especially if you join up with a friend and you get faced off in the first series. Well, sometimes that's fun, sometimes it turns into blood, but you know, whatever.
By the way, so far some shout-outs for the sign-ups tonight. Tang Tang, Slayer's Boner, 2 players that were playing today, so maybe they'll need some sleep. Peely Peely, Bly, TAiLS again, no regrets.
I don't know, man. Are they really going to be awake in 6 hours?
Well, that's the thing. Maybe this is actually the start of their day. Like, again, we don't really know what their schedule's like. It sounds silly, and I'm not trying to make too many excuses, but again, if you're not on a pro team, you're not playing for Pro League, you're not competing in the SSL, and your life is StarCraft, you make your sleep schedule around when you can play.
No, Arthur did that once he was, I guess, out of WCS, basically. So not quite retired, but not really pro anymore. I think more, it's also lots of just signing up for whatever they see, just pressing the sign up button, and then actually showing up. I know Bly does that a couple of times for like the NA themed, like Chairs for Gaming, actually.
Yeah, you don't put your foot in the door. You're like, okay, if I'm around, I'll play for sure, but I also might not be around. But that's why we have check-ins as well, so that players who don't actually show up don't get put into the bracket.
And then sometimes they still forfeit, but that's what happens with online cups.
Yeah. Depths do manage to make it into the base, but for TAiLS, they're not going to get a lot done. Don't even get much scouting even. Just going to get caught and die. A bit unfortunate, so Pouchou on top of this pretty easily.
Not doing too much. You know, though, if it scouts 18 more lings pop out, it's not going to be able to. That is quite a lot of lings. This is certainly enough to tear down a third base if TAiLS is getting a greedy third base, but TAiLS might not even be going for one. He adds on more gateways. He's getting a robo. I think this is, a total of 4. So even if he does get a Nexus, there's going to be, I think, more aggression behind it than usual. Because you can get away with a third Nexus with just 3 gateways. And, no Warp Prism necessary, but he is going to try and get the third base, and it's going to get immediately canceled. So this is, like, perfectly timed. Hot damn. That was very unfortunate. That wasn't a cancel. That was just a straight-up kill. And TAiLS, I thought he was going to go for Warp Prism and, get some Adepts in there with Resonating Glaives and attack with these 4 gateways. More than 4 gateways now. But no, adds on an Immortal, and it's just going to be going for, I guess, an all-in here. That's on 2 more gateways in the back.
Oh, way over here. Okay. I feel like for TAiLS, this is a strange composition to look at because we know how important Immortals are. You know, whether it's roaches, whether it's Ravagers even, obviously for lurkers later on, we see a lot of people emphasize that robo production 2 or so at a time. One of those weird games, though, where, especially being out of a position like this, gateway production was going to be most important and best ways to deal with this. Now, these probes are going to have to be pulled, or he's going to lose them all. TAiLS, oh man, you can't stack this. The Adepts are going to come back. He's going to leave the Immortal on the wall by the looks of it, but 13 probes will bleed out, and, you know, this pylon's going to go down, so there's not going to be an overcharge available to defend this. Yeah. More Lings coming at the front door, and once again, he's left it open. Adepts are out of position. Pouchou just floods in, and this Ling all-in is kind of working for him.
TAiLS, even with all of the gateways provided for him, is just not able to stop the Ling flow. This really should not have been that bad.
No,
he should be able to slowly, calmly take a 3rd base and then maybe do a couple of aggressive moves himself with the Adept Shade.
Oh my god,
he's probably lose the game at this rate. Now, the very important thing is that Pouchou does not really have a lot of tech. His lair did end up finishing, and he has Banelings. Yeah. That's going to be interesting. It could be used offensively, it could also be used defensively if he's afraid of a counter.
Well, the Banelings are actually not just going to be good for taking down the walls. They're good against Adepts. Let's straight up not forget that. But 1 pylon depowers everything in the civilization of TAiLS at the moment. He literally has 1 pylon.
Wow.
Oh, these Banelings are going to be devastating. I feel like they don't even need to go off on the army. They just take out these gateways.
There's not, you know, so many Banelings. There's certainly a lot of them.
There's enough. There's enough. The glowy, the scary. He's actually going to try and tear down the wall with the Lings. Admirable choice, because he wants to use these on the Adepts. Now the Adepts are close, and he sends them in. Oh, the splash is too good. Almost all the Adepts go down immediately. The Lings come in for that surround. There's more Lings where this came from. An overcharge gets popped. The Sentry dies. Immortal going to go down. Depowers the Warp Gate. Or the Robo, excuse me. And, oh, this is just falling to hell real quick.
Those are some really good Baneling hits. He really thought the Force Field was going to be able to cut it. He throws on another Force Field to buy a little bit more time, but TAiLS is out of money.
I mean, I like this aggressive move. I can't even see TAiLS flop too badly versus... I mean, there was the mistake with the hole in the wall. Absolutely. That sucks. That's happened to everybody at some point in their career. But it's the fact that Pouchou has been able to keep capitalizing off that first mistake. Not that he just got lucky with 1 move, but he's kept doing dangerous moves since then.
Mm-hmm. He's starting to lose a little bit of momentum just because he is starting to maybe transfer out into more of a macro game. TAiLS is not ready to give up yet. He has a Nexus, and he's still willing to use it, and he's going to get maybe a Warp Prism. Oof.
A couple of Baneling hits. Sentries do catch these Lings in a little bit of an awkward spot. The 3 bases was a great setup for Pouchou, but you're right, like the momentum's going to start falling off. The +1 weapons is nice, but at this point, just maybe collect your forces and move on to the next step. And that looks to be finally him realizing, like, yeah, I need something a little bit more. So Hydraless Den begins, but I don't think this will be Hydras. I would really like if this was straight to Lurkers.
Either one will probably do enough.
He's going to have more than enough Lings. The big thing Pouchou's got to realize, and hopefully has recognized just through all these attacks, he did annihilate TAiLS' army. So any sort of attack through this Warp Prism is not going to be that strong. Lings should be able to deal with every and anything that comes from the Warp Prism.
Yeah. His one mistake here is not having enough gas. Of course, he made a lot of Banelings only off of, I believe, 2. So now starting to add on more gases as he realizes that's his main problem. Figures why not add a couple of drones while I have the minerals. And this is actually an opportunity for TAiLS. Pouchou not just, I guess, giving a lot of faith to his economy, his follow-up. He thought maybe he was going to just end the game with that Ling Flood and might have made a huge mistake in the balance of his economy. There's a lot of Lings. The force fields are going to add a lot, but the sentries aren't actually adding a lot of damage. And the Hydras are not going down, so even just 3 Hydras adding a lot of damage.
They're not focusing the Warp Prism. I thought the Queens and the Hydras would be trying to focus on that, but I guess they do take out the sentries, and I mean, without those force fields, the Lings have free reign. They're the ones with +1 weapons. They're the ones looking to do damage. Drones get pulled into this. Oof. Getting a little bit spooky here for Pouchou, but he should be able to hold this. I mean, 6 Lings, man. 6 Hydras, that should be more than enough.
Yeah, if TAiLS had 30 drones, or 30 probes rather, maybe they had another Nexus, of course, the natural number went down, I think he absolutely would have won.
GG.
But not enough on the reinforcements. GG.
Well, congratulations to him. We'll go to game 3. We're going to pop off to a quick commercial break before we do, though, so nothing too long. Do stick with us. We'll be back soon with game number 3 here in the semifinals. All right, we're back. Game number 3 currently underway. And to all the people in chat that are saying I need to tidy up my room, excuse you and fuck off. That's all I have to say. But of course, we are in game number 3. It's tied up 1 apiece. We had a little bit of a hiccup with players taking breaks between that game, but that's all good. We continue through. Reminder that we'll be casting a TBT after this with BC Cutie versus Lily Canine, and it does guarantee a TV something finals, which is really weird for Europe because we have consistently had ZvZ. I'm very glad to see it look a little bit different today. But spawning on the top right side of Orbital Shipyard, it is the orange Protoss TAiLS.
In the bottom left, as the green Zerg, he is Pouchou.
Now, pretty important that TAiLS did scout once again. It doesn't take much. In fact, Mana was really impressing me with the amount of scouting he was doing recently for Ting, and it's probably one of the best reasons he's the only Protoss player to make it that far into the tournament, to make it to the grand finals.
Yeah. Kind of funny, he sees a 1-base build. It wasn't an early pool, but it is a 1-base build with gas, and takes it pretty seriously. You ideally are not going to go for a Forge first ever anymore in PvZ. It just doesn't seem to add up to what it used to, and it's also doesn't really have a lot of potential for an aggressive cannon rush anymore, although I guess there is an opportunity here for TAiLS. He's not going to go for it, though. And it does delay your Mothership core, your Adepts, your Semitex core, all because of that, and it's just a little bit of scariness going on for TAiLS, as he doesn't know what to expect from this green Zerg.
We have one time with Stardew Valley, because we had mentioned that earlier. I'm just going to mention this really quick, because I had streamed it specifically just before we got onto the cast today. And I had been saving up, and spring of year 2, I invested heavily in crops. I made like 60k in veggies this morning. It was really nice. Literally 10% of my overall income. In
Tomb Raider, you can make new clothes and like pouches and stuff if you get skin. Yeah.
That's cool.
I need to get exotic skin, which I'm still waiting to get to because I've been doing too many side quests. But I built a pouch. And I was pretty proud of myself.
Yo, speaking of clothing for a moment,
Ammo.
I don't know what it is. A lot of people seem to dislike this, and I'm actually astonished because I thought this was like a popular thing, what with the amount of girls that do it. But there's those leggings that people have been wearing recently with the wet look yoga pants. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what wet look means.
It's like black and shiny, like the clothing looks wet type thing.
Okay.
I personally love the way that looks, but apparently this is something that's kind of hated, at least on Reddit, because I was reading this thread yesterday where people were, and I'm assuming mostly women, complaining about wearing them, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, I just assumed all leggings were comfortable because everybody wears them all the time.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know what the wet look is, and I have not tried them, but I recently started wearing leggings and like yoga pants, and they actually do feel pretty comfortable, but...
They look good, man. That's all I can really say without getting too pervy. Like,
maybe in 2 years you can ask me again and I'll be like, oh yeah, I tried those. Mark the date.
Okay, well, for Pouchou, he still hasn't taken a third. Still sticking on these 2 bases. Roaches are en route, but we don't have something like a fast layer. We don't have a Nidus Worm on the way. I am curious to see how he plans to break this. Obviously, Roach Ravager seems to be the only viable option currently, but... TAiLS, it's interesting. Sentry force fields can be broken by corrosive biles. We know this. This is, in fact, the sole purpose originally of that unit design. However, if you keep putting down force fields, they'll keep needing to use corrosive biles on that instead of hitting your important units on the back line, like the sentries or the stalkers or the adepts.
Right.
So a hold on this ramp is not out of the question. But this is still going to be pretty dangerous, because for Pouchou, it's all in.
Yeah, it's a typical Roach all-in off of 2 bases that you would have seen in, like, Heart of the Swarm, but of course the inclusion of Ravagers makes it a little bit different. Kind of get surprised by it, I guess. Like, you know, because he was so nervous in the beginning to get this cannon, to get this forge, he is a lot better off to defend against this 2-base all-in, and I'm actually surprised that Zerg here decided to do it. Like, it was so well set up.
The Void Ray is going to be really interesting in this scenario. It's going to obviously be fantastic against the Roaches, and it's hard to hit, but we have seen players get complacent, and Ravagers end up taking them down in the past. But this has already gone poorly for Pouchou to start, and he's not looking to snowball this. I think one of the biggest problems we're witnessing in this is he's chosen to use high ground vision through units instead of an Overlord. Like, if the Roaches and Ravagers didn't have to worry about getting to the top of the ramp just to hit anything, this fight would already be going way better for Pouchou. Now he's going to get force-fielded off once again. Corsair Gear being aimed at the back, not breaking these force fields, so Roaches are stuck. Everything dying. And this has been well defended from TAiLS, but I feel, and no offense to Pouchou here, it was poorly executed.
Yeah, it wasn't the best execution, but it also just wasn't the best idea. TAiLS was playing so defensive right from the start because he scouted a one-base build. I mean, he wasn't sure it wasn't going to be a Ling all-in that was going to try and break him, so that's why he was defensive. But if you see that, why not just like try and macro out of it? You know, obviously they're playing scared, and that does contribute to their own macro. To actually still commit, especially to a Roach all-in, was questionable. And the follow-up choice of the Stargate was just a good catch-all, but especially with those Void Rays against those Roaches. So I was supposed to say like TAiLS like hard countered, but I feel like there could have been different choices.
I really don't agree with calling it a hard counter though, because again, for me, the problem with the execution there was not having the Overlord for the high ground vision. The Roaches never needed to come up the ramp at all and get stuck and force-fielded in and die to a cannon. Like, right from the get-go, that went poorly for Pouchou. But regardless, coming in now, it is about what's at hand, and there's a couple of Void Rays with not a lot of anti-air. Queens are not going to be too bad in this situation, but I imagine they're going to get focused down pretty quick.
Ideally. Of course, no gateway here yet. That's warping's gonna take a while. The force field's used to block out reinforcements, and those queens are... Oh, okay, that one didn't go down, but they do need to be here to take out those Void Rays. They're not a lot of damage. Even if they aren't being used against the Roaches, they're still, in general, a lot of damage. Thinking about going up the ramp, but decides not to. I mean, once he breaks the third, he's probably still won, so no need to try and risk it and get surrounded.
As he walks up the ramp, I actually would like if he committed to that. He could have just force-fielded behind him. Force-fielding at the top of the ramp's not a bad choice either. As we see, this is going very well for TAiLS, and frankly, I don't see a way for Pouchou to win this. I hate to be that guy. Jones are getting pulled. You know that's never a good sign. Forcefield locks them out of the fight. Oracle even starts getting involved. Stalker's on the backside, but this is all but over as Pouchou is about to have to tap out. GG.
Gee.
Congratulations to TAiLS. He'll move on to the finals, but let's not forget, poor young Pouchou has earned $10 for his 4th place finish here in the Cup, so not too bad. But next up, we're going to have BCQD versus Lily Canine going back to Detox for that first map. Going to head into a small commercial break while we get it hosted and when we get the players in, and we'll see you guys soon for game number 1 of the other semifinals match.